My name is Ann Wright, and I'm here in Seadrift, Texas, on the Gulf Coast of Texas, with Diane Wilson. And we're here right after Hurricane Harvey that decimated so much of this coast. And Diane, would you please tell us what happened here and what environmental impacts do you see?
Well, we stayed during the full storm. I know there was mandatory evacuation. They wanted everyone to leave, and uh, I'm not very far from the bay and from the Gulf of Mexico, and they were expecting a 6 foot tidal surge. Matter of fact, it Harvey arrived probably about 8 o'clock at night. It was dark, and the the water the water started really rising in the morning. We probably had 10 inches of rain, and then the water started rising, and one of there was a couple of reasons why I stayed. There's a lot of people that get really perturbed if you stay.
I heard your daughters were a little perturbed.
Yes, yes. My kids were real upset. My son thought I drowned, so they were disturbed. But one is I understand what it's like, and especially people in other countries, people like in Palestine. I guarantee you, with electricity off for 9 days, I totally understood that. And but the thing of it is, so you're a hurricane puts you that close to being homeless. So one, I was determined I was going to stay on this piece of land that's right next to the bay, and also is I have a little barn over there, and for the last almost 2 years now, we have been collecting samples from Formosa Plastics Discharge. I have been watching Formosa now for Plastics, which is a international petrochemical plant, originally from Taiwan, and they have created tragedies and disasters all over the world. Matter of fact, and we have our own little special tragedy here, and we've been collecting samples for almost 2 years. We have 1,700 samples
And what are these
in that
samples?
barn.
What are they samples of?
They are the PVC polyvinyl chloride plastic pellets that come from a notorious polluter on Lavaca Bay, and we have been collecting a number of workers, former workers from the chemical plant.
Where do you find these pellets?
We find them in the water. We have find them behind in creeks. We find them on the banks. We find them on the road. They are, and the company has been doing this probably, I'd say easily 15 years.
And these pellets, are they harmful?
The pellets are made through the vinyl chloride process. Vinyl chloride, EDC, chlorine, benzene. This is the product that Formosa ends up, and then they make your your raincoats, your vinyl bags, your hardcover on your vinyl houses, all number of stuff. But
Does it give you diseases?
but the thing of it is, the problem about these PVC pellets is, one is that we have probably one of the largest group of diverse marine animals, and also birds, and they look exactly like fish eggs. The EPA, TCEQ, people that are involved in turtle restoration, they know that the the turtles, the birds, the fish consume the PVC pellets because they think they look exactly like fish eggs. And matter of fact, we've had a number of fishermen that we've talked to, and when they have opened up fish, there is, if they've got a fish and look inside it, and it's their gullets are full of PVC pellets.
Well, how about the workers? Do these things harm the workers in the plant?
Well, the thing of it is Formosa probably has, I would say, they have about 17 units in a almost 2,000 acre chemical plant. So it's a huge petrochemical plant, and there's probably at least 7 of those units that specialize in making the PVC powder, the PVC pellets, and I know I have talked to many of the workers. We have complained to EPA about the pellets in the powder being so extensive that it's like it's, you know, if you do one little spark like with a welding arc, it will blow up, which it
Nice.
has. And matter of fact, we would have workers come to us, and because there was an explosion and workers got their eyelids burned off, their lips burned off, and it was from PVC powder and being ignited because there's so much. And the thing that is like, you know that the powder contains vinyl chloride, which is a carcinogen, and you have workers, and we have pictures of them. I've talked to them. They had powder in their hair, they had powder in their beards, they had powder all over their clothes. And I know when we complained to EPA, and they did a sneak investigation. You know, this before Scott Pruitt put the buzo on that one.
The EPA out of
The
business.
EPA, yeah, turned off the lights there. I mean, they would do these investigations without letting the company know, and you know, and you would have workers out there coated in the pellets, in the powder, and because the company wouldn't give them masks, they had to go to Walmart, get bandanas, and you would see them with red bandanas over their face like they were banditos from El Rado or someplace like that. You know.
Well, now you all have you have an environmental group here. Would you tell us about your environmental group, what it's doing, and is there a way that people can help after this hurricane, that you can do more work on identifying where the pollution is coming from and things like that?
Well, right now we have a really big need for a small boat. I'm not looking for yachts. Small boat, a flat bottom boat that we could put out on the water, that we could, because each one of these chemical plants, and we probably have 6 major chemical plants in Calhoun County, and they discharge into our estuaries. And shrimpers, we have a large, or at one time we had a large community of fishermen, and all of these, the shrimp, the fish, the crabs, it all comes from the estuaries. That's where they grow up. And you have these discharges, like Formosa Plastics, for example, they have a 9 million gallon toxic discharge per day
Oh, yeah.
into the estuary, where they don't even allow shrimpers to go up in there because that's an estuary. And here you are discharging. It's self-reporting, so God only knows what they are doing beyond their permit application. And so you had Alcoa, which you know, now we have an underwater mercury superfund site because of all the mercury there. Then you got Dow Chemical, you got Seadrift Coke, you got DuPont, you got Ineos, you got Interplast. You know, there is any number of chemical plants within each one, at the minimum, are discharging like 4 to 5 million gallons per day. So you give about 30 million gallons per day.
Oh,
And
wow.
so there is, you know, the state is not watching it. The EPA, oh yeah, okay. Just give me that. And Formosa is expanding. They do nothing but expand more and more. So you know, it's like doubling what
Yeah.
they were before, and they're going into another entire county because they're getting so big. So the thing with it is, it's like the only way you can keep track of what is happening to your home. And to me, the bay is like my home. So the only thing you can do is do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I learned one hard lesson, is the state and the federal government these agencies, these politicians that you elect, they are not going to watch it. The citizens have to do it.
And that vote would help you and others get
to
out
go
there
out
and
there, and that's right, and we take our own samples and we document it, we do it all legally, and right now that's why we've got a $57 million lawsuit against Formosa Plastics. 1,700 samples. I was talking to one of the young lawyers that were helping. They said never in their life have they had 1,700 samples as evidence in a case. You know, they're usually maybe at the most 50 or 60, and we have 1,700, and it's still growing.
and collected over a long period of time.
Long period of time, over almost over a year and a half. That's 1,700, and this has been ongoing probably for 15 years.
Wow. So a flat bottom boat, an engine, little
Yeah.
money for gasoline will really help you all get out so you can document
So we can
all of these
document,
things.
yeah. And the thing of it is these chemical companies, they know if someone's watching, they do better. But if nobody's watching, then it's like, who cares? You know, out of sight, out of mind. You know.
Well, we thank you, Diane Wilson, and all of your friends and colleagues that are working here to protect the bay and protect us. And we hope that everybody will contribute to this fundraiser so that we can get a boat out on
Yeah.
Alamo Bay.
Yeah, out there on Lavaca Bay and put it on San Antonio Bay, and yeah. So, I mean, that's where we need to be.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And
You
here
bet.
we are live from Seadrift, Texas.
That's right.
After Hurricane Harvey, and you can see all the water and everything in the background. And over there's this little creek that has all sorts of nasty pollution stuff coming, sheens
That's
of
right.
oil on it.
Sheens of oil. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Miss Wilson.
You betcha.
All right.